have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely. Kyle, go, mate. Obviously, he's had a lot of game time. What's your thoughts on him so far with the...
I love him. I love him. I know, I get it. He hasn't scored a lot of goals. He's missed chances. I saw him against Ipswich, and I was like, I ain't seen a player attempt to dink. When's the last time a Blues player attempted to dink? Tell me. Someone in the comments, let us know.
Legend.
You're right, mate.
One message to the Bluenoses for me.
Keep right on.
The Blues. Come on.
Keep right on.
Keep right on. Hey, Ian. Keep right on, baby. Hey, boy, Blue.
Come on, you Blue boys!
Just keep right on and shit on the Villa.
Keep right on.
What's going on, Bluenoses? And look who we got with us. It's only Brummie Joe. How are you, son?
I'm doing well. I'm solo parenting today, so it's been hectic, and I'm actually sweating at the minute. But yeah, I'm doing well. International break. It just feels like about a month, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, mate.
How are you?
I'm all right, mate. Well, we spoke, didn't we, before we done the video and that, and you've just put your little one to bed, and I've got the kids downstairs, and they got both the friends staying around. So I've gone from 2 children to 4 children. It's chaos.
Oh man. Yeah.
Apart from that, mate, I'm all right.
Good man.
Yeah, it's all good, mate. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about the season and stuff and what you think so far. We'll have a catch up briefly about last season as well and what your thoughts was in terms of going into this season and your expectations and that. So, what's your overall thoughts then, Joe? From obviously getting relegated to appointing 𝒃𝒍𝒖𝒆, having a record-breaking season. We didn't just break one record; we broke loads. I think we broke every record, didn't we? In League One, beating Aston Villa's amount of goals and stuff as well in League One as well when I was in the third tier. So, what's your thought?
We broke everything that there was to break almost. I mean, I don't know exactly. I'm sure there's one like obscure one that we're missing, but in terms of what we did last season, it was an overwhelming success. That obviously having the trophy as well, the EFL trophy, would have been a bonus, but you know, it's kind of more of an in the moment thing. Like, it would have been a really nice cherry on top. But all in all, no complaints from me. Obviously, we know what happened. We know the right decisions weren't made. We also didn't have. There were, you know, what happened with Tony Mowbray as well. Unfortunately, like, a lot of things happened that were out of our control. But ultimately, the decisions from higher up led us to relegation. But I honestly think that relegation, in hindsight, it's put us in a better position, in my opinion, because we've been able to fully rebuild. It was right as, I'm pretty sure PSR, FFP switched over. We were able to get loads of people out, whole new team in, and we could bed them in League One. So it's probably a bit more forgiving, although it's still tough. But yeah, I think everyone doubted us, but we smashed it, and we are where we are now. I'm feeling really positive about Blues.
Yeah, I mean, mate. What was your? Because you're like a similar age to me, aren't you? I think I'm 3 years older than you. You're 30, aren't you? And I'm 33. So like, we've had a similar kind of upbringing with Blues. So like, I just vaguely remember Barry Fry. I don't think he was born then, but like, obviously, in our lifespan, you know, it was our first time going to like the smaller grounds and stuff and experiencing the third tier football. It's not pretty football, but I really enjoyed it, mate, you know, and making memories with my dad and stuff. That's what it's all about. And I know that you're close with your dad as well. And what was that like for you and that, mate, like in that season as well? Like just experiencing that. Like, I know it was a bit of a doom and gloom at the start, like going down, but as the season went on and just taking it all in, what was your thoughts on that, mate?
I think last season in particular, it was different. I think, you know, since that Wembley win, that relegation from the Premier League was so long ago now that, you know, we had the season after playoffs, Houghton, we looked really good. We played like 60 games, almost got into the groups of the Europa League. Since then, it was just downhill, and we felt like we were just spiraling and destined to relegation. And before Wagner stepped in, there were a few other, you know, there was Bassini, there was the Hero guy, with Maxi Lopez, all that stuff. Genuinely, having one failed ownership and then another failed ownership, you just lose hope. And there was a point where, you know, we'd had 10, 11 years just circling the drain, and I just did not see a way out. I really didn't. Like, I remember saying, all I want is just some hope that we can move forwards in some way, because it was just 17th every single season.
Yeah.
So to have what happened to us was, I can't even put it into words. It's just like we hit the jackpot, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for us to remember that too. I think it's very, very easy to get caught up in where we are now and have all the, you know, this recency bias, and there's big talk from Wagner and everyone's talking about promotion to the Premier League. I think we need to just remember that it is a long road, you know, and to have patience with the management and the higher ups, and that, you know, I know there's a little bit of disappointment around this transfer window as well, which we'll go into later. But it's that kind of, you know, if the same amount of players were signed in a different order and there was one or two on deadline day, it might have been seen a little bit differently. Yeah, we could have done better. But we'll get into that. In terms of last season, honestly, if I'm being honest, eventually it is just, I found it boring. I did. I think, and I don't want to sound like arrogant or whatever, but the way we were playing, every single team set up to defend against us.
Yeah.
Two lines of four, you know, low block. It was just to nullify us and frustrate us, which they did a lot of the time. But for us to break through that and get our points tally in that scenario is incredible, I think. But I was very, very happy to be rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. And like you say, the teams that were set up that were making it hard for us, you know, long balls, low block, like you say, and wasn't pretty football from the opposition.
No, you can understand it as well.
Yeah. A couple of teams may have. I think Bolton had a similar style, not as good as us, but
Peterborough too. When we played them at home.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a bit more fun with 𝒃𝒂𝒄𝒉 in goal, wasn't
it? Yeah. Did you just go on the players quick? Have you seen the stats with Tyler Roberts as well, being loaned out and being subbed twice in one day? They subbed him on and then subbed him back off again.
Really? I ain't kept an eye on it, honestly. No, that's a shame. Now, I did have a look at George Hall as well, because Port Vale played today, and I think he stayed on the bench the whole time. But that was a strange signing. And I always wish them well when they go, and just hope they do well. But sometimes it's just certain.
So
work, you know.
So we've had the reset, Joe. Like you say, like we got relegated yet. We've spoke about that, and obviously we've brought in a load of players. We got rid of a lot of deadwood as well that were probably the main reason why we got relegated. But look, again, we needed it. We needed the reset, in my opinion. I'm sure you agree as well. But in terms of the players that we brought in, we're going to go from last season, from the quality and stuff from that, and what you think and favourite players, and obviously getting Stano over the line as well.
So what do I think about the signings last season?
Yeah, from last season, and then we'll incorporate going into this season.
Yeah, well, I think that's it, isn't it? They signed players that were set so that when we got promoted, we wouldn't need another overhaul, right? There's two ways to go about it. You can get players that are very solid League One players, which I think we did. You know, we got. I think you can look at the likes of Taylor Gardner-Hickman, even Samstead. I know he didn't play a lot. Alfie May was one for sure, and I'm a bit disappointed he hasn't found a championship move. But you know, there's we had a few of them that they kind of, with Alfie May in particular, right? He knows the league, he knows what it's about. I think Mark Leonard too was meant to be in that mold, but didn't really play as much. And then some of them were kind of experiments that didn't work. Emil Hansen, I expected a lot more of after that Rangers friendly.
Yeah,
didn't really work for him. Still isn't really working for him. I just don't know if it's the just English football or whatever. But I hope he becomes good. But then you've got the likes of like Christophe Clara, Iwata, Paik, obviously remaining from the Championship. I thought he might have left us. Re-signing Jay Stansfield, like it's making a statement and selling them the fact that we're gonna get promoted, and I'm sure there was quite a lot of financial incentives in there too. But I think that I wouldn't get too much into like the technical aspect of it because I just don't know it that much. But I think the biggest surprise package for me was Ryan Allsop. I mean, I remember when he was signed, a lot of people, but they felt a bit like, not sure the word, they were like underwhelmed by it, right? They thought, okay, he played for Hull, he did okay, he looks like a bit of a shot stopper. I didn't see anything about him being really good with his feet, but his composure on the ball is night and day from someone like Ppkgfr, who I thought would be better with his feet.
Well, compare him to John Ruddy.
Yeah, well, exactly, totally different. And again, John Ruddy's a great goalkeeper, but he's not the type to play out from the back. He was told to do that under Rooney, and he said himself in interviews and stuff. It just wasn't working. Yeah. But we finally got the team that could do that. And I think the most important thing, and I think it's something that we're still doing now, is getting players with the right attitude and mindset. I think it's so important because we've had a team that had maybe not so much recently. There's still some there, but throughout the last 10 years, we've kind of had consistent bad apples and also people that are okay with mediocrity. They're fine. They don't care. They're in. They're gonna play a game, take the pay, go home. They're not. I think a lot of them lacked true ambition and were really willing to push themselves to a certain degree. And I think there was a culture around the club that when a player came in, which you naturally do in any workplace, you come in, you adapt to that culture. We've built one now that is a winning mentality. We've done that through winning League One. That when a player comes in who may be on the fence, who may be easily influenced, he's going to think, I need to step up now. I need to step up to this level because that's how I'm going to be accepted and integrated into this squad. That is the most important thing we've done with all of our signings, I think.
Yeah, I agree as well. And like you say, like for me, like a couple of seasons back, it was just like they was just turning up for a paycheck. And the unity now, mate, the brotherly, the brotherhood, like it's fantastic. I know we got into a couple of sticky situations against Newcastle with the Sula and Jay Stansfield, and there was like 3 or 4 Blues players just behind Stan now, not getting involved in that. It's good in it, like when they're sticking up.
Yeah, it's awesome as well. Runs the left length of the pitch. He loved it.
He did it at Blackburn, didn't he? When we scored that winner.
Yeah. Right, honestly, I bet he's blowing after that. But that's it. That's it as well. And I think there's. Mourinho said it when he was at Spurs as well, didn't he? You need a bit of nasty about you as well. You can't be too nice and too soft and whatever. Like you have to be up for it and have just on a day when you're gonna get like knocked because maybe a team doesn't have as much quality as you or whatever. They're trying to intimidate you. You need to have that kind of backbone as well. And again, like I was saying about League One football and stuff, like don't get me wrong, it can be good, but against us, it just wasn't. And I'd seen that game against Newcastle. And I was like, that's what I want. That's what I want. I want 2 teams that are just going at it. Both want to win the game. I want to watch entertaining football. Obviously I want Blues to do well, but I want to watch entertaining football. And I know we can be up for it on our day. So now coming into the championship, you just know, like, it just feels so different. Like every game is important.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily feel like, again, being so far ahead as well in League One, we might have drawn a game or been a bit poor or couldn't break through one day, but it didn't really affect us in the second half of the season because we were basically promoted. But now, especially, you get past Christmas, if we're in and around the playoffs, every point is important. We drop points one game, it's gutting. You get a last minute winner, it means so much more. Now that's what I'm so excited about this season. And we've had a bit of everything so far this season. We've at the last minute equaliser and winner against Blackburn. We've had a kind of standard, kind of maybe what you'd see last season against Oxford, where we just grind out a bit of a 1-0. Should have done more, didn't. They might have nicked it at the end, kind of thing. What else we had? We had what was the first game of the season? Ipswich draw last minute the other way against us, and then Leicester. So we've had a bit of everything really, and I think we've had it ain't been the easiest start. You might say but we're in and amongst it now, and I want us to get to the 10 game mark, see where we are, and assess from there. But yeah, it's good to see the transfer window's done now. We've got our squad. We know what we're working with. I think we made a really good addition with Patrick Roberts. I think he's really balanced that kind of attacking three. And I can't wait to see him. I don't know if you've seen what the Sunderland fans have been saying about him, but seems to be a winner. He seems to. He's a big game player as well. He don't let the occasion get to him. He's consistent. His output doesn't look great on paper, but it's about if he can do it for the team. For me,
yeah, I agree, mate. He's a winger as well. We need another winger. And I was on about this to my dad as well. Some of the Bluenoses, you don't forget we got Scott Wright as well, and I think he's a decent player as well. I remember when we played the Trevor Francis friendly against Rangers the season we got relegated before the season started in League One, and he was playing against us, wasn't he? And he scored their goal, and before we had a lot of interest in him, and that I said to my dad, I said he looks a good player, he does. And then obviously we went to sell him, but I do think we miss him as well. But obviously we've gone with the winger as well, like you say, Patrick Roberts. But I'm just going to share this screen with you just quickly, Joe, because I agree with you. In terms of on paper, he doesn't look the best, but if you break down his stats and have a look at where he gets himself on the heat maps and stuff, it's in that territory where that final third where I think that we've been struggling most this season. I said on a few podcasts, I think everything's there, playing from the back, holding the line, pressing. It's just that final third for me that's the problem. We just don't seem to be having enough shots, do we? And I think any Bluenose can see that, in terms of shots and crosses that ain't going to nobody because nobody's getting onto anything and stuff, and a lot of wasted balls. But it's Patrick Roberts, mate. He can definitely bring something to the table. So yeah, I'll just share the screen with you now, mate, and just see what you think about it. But yeah, is that the same for you as well, with the final third and stuff, Joe? Lacking about certain things in that department as well.
Yeah, well, it's just I think we're doing the right things on the pitch, but you're right. It's just, and I think we had a little bit of this maybe last season as well, for different reasons. But it's just finding it's being more clinical. I thought as well, because I think there's different types of games, but we've had games where we've created a lot of chances, but we've been so wasteful with them. And I think Kyogo, for example, is a good example of that. But I have so much faith in Kyogo to score goals this season and be that person that connects. And I think as well, we haven't seen much of Dux, for example, or Fujimoto. I think these players in that role, and Duck more especially, could really help with that. You've got Roberts too, but I think you need someone in that 10 role that's gonna link the kind of midfield to the attack. He did that a lot last season. I think he got more assists than he did goals, and he seemed to be the type of player that likes to set up. And the glimpses I saw against Port Vale, he's raw, coming back from injury, whatever. But I see a player in there, and I think if he can get that working and get that connection between him, Kyogo, Stansfield, that could really help us. I think, like I say, these players haven't had a full pre-season with us.
Yeah.
We've got a good opportunity now over the international break to really bed them in. And I want to see more chances created and more goals scored when we come back. And we're facing a really informed team in Stoke.
Another fixture as well, Stoke.
Not an easy game whatsoever, especially away. But at least it's not a cold Tuesday night, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So this is the heat map, mate. So this is like a whole season of when he was in the Championship. 20
touches or shots? Are they all shots? Shot map. Oh, so the red ones are on target.
Yeah. But I mean, going off the shots and stuff and where he is and that, he's in that final third, isn't he? So, I mean,
a couple of Chris Burks there, isn't there? A couple of Chris Burks chopping. Yeah, I could see him just chop. I mean, his two goals actually came from the other side, which is quite funny. He's got all these chances down the right. Yeah. And he's one's centre, one's left.
But if you look though, and this is the good thing about him, so he's a right winger predominantly. He can play on the left as well, but he's left-footed. So, like you say, like that goal, that one goal out of all these shots here, like he coming down this wing here, he can actually cut across. So I think that's going to be good for the likes of Kyogo and like you say, Dutch and even Stano as well. You know, like getting the assists and feeding those players in. So yeah, I mean, he could bring a lot to the table potentially, and having Demarai Gray, I think he's brilliant as well, mate. I mean, he's come back to Blues, and I think he's my favourite signing, mate. To be honest.
Yeah, I think you look at
he's a Premier League player.
Yeah, I think it's hard for me to place him at the minute. I think he could do a job in the Prem, but probably off the bench or something. Yeah. But in the Championship, like the gap's so huge. I think in the Championship it's just night and day. Honestly, my concern was after a Saudi move, like how up for it is he going to be? But I think everything's kind of fallen into place. Coming back to your boyhood club, who are really on the up, you got a chance to really finish your career with. Yeah, I'm not sure what the phrase is, but like you want to finish it on a high and like take your club back to the Premier League, like, and he just seems really up for it. He's got that flair about him as well that excites fans. Like there was that touch. Was it at Oxford? Was it Oxford that?
I think it might have been.
Or was it Leicester? I swear it was at home.
Is that the one that Blues put on the YouTube short?
Yeah. But yeah, like I say, just stuff like that. It just drives. But it's not just like little bits of flair and stuff. Like he's got a great final ball, and even if you look what he did for Kyogo's goal against Sheffield United, that press, that desire, that told me everything you need to know about it, about his desire. To be honest, that Koumas I'm not 100% sure of yet, but I'm hoping he can settle in. Obviously, he's had a full season in the Championship, so he seems physical enough, I think. From what I saw, and he had a lot about him. I didn't see too much of him at Leicester. I think he was playing in the 10 more, but against Port Vale, I thought he was our best player in a Port team. Yeah, but, he had the one half chance of the game for us, and I think there's again potentially something in there. It's not the most exciting signing in the world, but it could hopefully surprise us, and at worst, it'd be a good. We need depth, don't we? Especially in the wings.
Yeah, and especially like if injuries arise as well, and that when we got chances where we can bring in these players that they're either like for like or they're just shy off the the A team as we call it, because we've had a proper reset now, and these players stepping up that aren't being picked for the starting 11, or if Davis is switching it around for the likes of the cup games like Port Vale and stuff, and giving the players that ain't always getting minutes in them chance to have a go. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think he's got a lot of work to do still in that look, and obviously like settling, like you say, and young kid though, he's got age on his side as well. A lot of people that I work with are Liverpool fans, and they've said that he's a good player. Dutch spoke about him. I think he's got a lot to offer as well, and like you say, getting settled in again. Obviously, just coming off the back of an injury as well. What's your thoughts on Cashin?
Well, I just want to sound Duck as well. It's the physicality that he brings as well that I'm looking forward to seeing. I think we've got quite a small squad as well. We've got Willemson, who's a big lad, but I think having that strong kind of almost he can hold the ball up a little bit kind of player in that area is really going to help us. In terms of Cashin, I've seen a lot of Cashin hate. People saying he's not good enough. But I think
he had a shock. He had a shock at Port Vale, I think.
I mean, I didn't notice. I saw him at Sheffield United, and I thought he looked quite composed on the ball. He seemed to just have I don't know. For me, it's like just seeing little things they do when receiving the ball, like the way he moves his body and positions himself so when he kind of takes the touch, he's taking it in the right direction. He's like it gave me the idea that he's thinking he's got a little bit more football intelligence than I'm used to seeing at centre back, maybe over the last few years. So I'm not going to batter him. I didn't notice any. You know, I might have missed stuff, but I didn't notice anything at Port Vale. The one thing I noticed at Port Vale was maybe Neumann seemed to be getting a little bit more. It got caught out a couple of times. Again, I'm not going to bash players for like one off game or whatever. But I haven't seen anything really from Cashin just yet. And again, I might have missed it. That says to me he's not a good player. What I've seen, Sheffield United, I thought he looked good. And again, it's so soon to judge these players. He's clearly a good player from what he's done so far. And Brighton isn't exactly a bad club to pick you out. You know what I mean? They know a good player when they see one. So I'm going to give him some time. I think Fujimoto. You know, I know that whole team was bad again against Port Vale. I saw a couple of good things from Duck. You know, I'm only talking like a couple of touches here.
Yeah.
But again, it's just little things you notice that you're maybe not used to seeing. Just a little bit more football intelligence. With Kanya, I just think he didn't. I don't know if he didn't have time to really get on the ball much. Maybe it wasn't his kind of game. But I hadn't seen anything from him, so I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Yeah.
Fujimoto, I have no idea what to expect from him.
Fujimoto was the one with the shoulder injury, isn't he, Joe?
Yeah, he had an injury. He had an injury. Yeah, him and Ducks were both coming back, weren't they? Because we'd signed them and then they had to bed in a little bit.
Yeah, but what I mean is when we signed him, I think there was a report where like he's got an ongoing problem with his shoulder, and I think that's Fujimoto, isn't it? He's got a problem with his shoulder. I think he dislocated
consistently.
Yeah, like a consistent injury.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise. No, I thought it just I thought it just had like a shoulder injury. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely. Kyogo, mate. Obviously, he's had a lot of game time. What's your thoughts on him so far? With the,
I love him. I know. I get it. He hasn't scored a lot of goals. He's missed chances. I love him. I don't know. I saw him against Ipswich, and I was like, I ain't seen a player attempt to dink. When's the last time a Blues player attempted dink? Tell me, someone in the comments, let us know. And I'm not talking about Dukey's little like where he hits it into the ground and it just goes over the keeper, right? An actual dink. Then 2 in 1 game, right? Insane. I love it. I absolutely love it. He's so good, and I think yes, he is rusty. I don't think he played many games for Rennes last season, right? I think this year, I don't think he's played many games at all. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I heard he'd only played a couple of games from January to the start of this season. He's a little bit rusty. He needs more composure. Yes, he should have taken his chances that he's had. But if you're telling me there ain't a finisher in there, you're joking. There is.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I can't wait for I'm not saying there's loads, but anyone who's slandering him already after 4 games, have a quiet word with yourself because he will come good.
100%. Chris Davis will get the best out of him anyway in the next 2 weeks, won't he?
He's so good. And I get he's a risk, right? And I get he's 30 years old. Mate, just Celtic loved him. He can finish. I haven't seen a player at Blues that can finish like that for a while, right? And yes, he's not doing it at Blues right now, but I'm excited by him. I really am. Like he's a nuisance. He gets in between defenders, and he don't let the centre back know where he is. Their centre back's like this all the time because he's going in between the two of them, and he's like his movement's shifty, and he'll spin like he's not like this. Honestly, I'll rant here a little bit because some people will just look at how many goals they've scored, how many assists they've got, and that's whether they're a good or bad player. But if you look at him, what he does in the box, whatever, he will have no space at all, and he'll just find a way to spin, like to throw off a centre back, and he'll create chances. And like Chris Davis said, I'd be worried if you weren't creating chances, but he is, and it's just a matter of time before he starts putting them away. Whether there's a confidence thing in there too, I don't know. I think it's maybe more. It's just a bit rusty. But when he gets a couple and he's up and running, we'll be laughing. It's also the way he'll receive a ball over the shoulder and like catch it. You just know he's an absolute baller. You know what I mean? I'm so excited to watch him.
Well, his transfer fee says it all. Like you say, now he's a 30-year-old, and look at his market value already. You know, it's still like a 9-8 million player there.
Yeah, I don't know what we actually paid for him. I think we paid like 5 mil, and then there's add-ons, or whatever. But I'm not 100% sure, but that's our biggest fee, and we don't know what kind of signing bonus Demarai Gray got or whatever, because there's a lot of stuff with Saudi and taxes and whatever. Like, I don't know what we would have actually had to outlay for him, but yeah, we've spent the money well. Were you under the impression that we were going to spend more? Because I was. Because I
was, but not a lot more.
Because how much have you actually spent? Because if you think, well, even if you don't have to answer it, but even if you think about the money we've got from
all the branding and stuff.
Yeah, our net, no, just on transfer fees, right? The net for this season can't be more. It can't be more than like 8 mil. I don't think.
No,
5 mil less.
9.
Like we got sold. We've sold a few. But yeah, let me pull it. We sold. Who have we sold? Ramel Donovan. What, 3 mil? Ayumu, 2 mil apparently. Alpha May got 800k to a mil for him. Christian Bielik, Keller, George Hall, Longello. We brought in, according to Transfer Market, our net is minus 4 mil. And I think there's, if you look at Demarai Gray, it was a free transfer. Bright was a free transfer. There's probably like signing on fees. So let's just call it like 6-7 mil. I am surprised. I thought there was a big signing in, like, gonna happen towards the end.
Yeah. We're like a stand thing again.
Yeah, but again, this might just be getting spoiled as a Blues fan. But I think it had been hyped up a lot. They said we've got money to spend. We're aiming for the Premier League, that kind of thing. So I'm just wondering if maybe we've realised we'd actually, with our spending last season and FFP, like if we might end up catching ourselves out, or if we're holding some back for like January. Like, let's see where we are. Let's not go crazy. And then in January, if we're in and around there, we'll spend. You look at Wrexham, they've spent silly money. But, I think we have been really smart with the transfer market. I say we've spent 7 mil, but then you look at some of the players. Tommy Doyle's got a 10 mil obligation if we go up. Yeah. But again, I don't think that should affect, unless they didn't think it would, and it does. But I don't think that should affect like this season's PSR.
When we sold him, didn't he go to Blackburn?
Who?
Yeah. Tyler Gordon-Hickman, he's gone to Blackburn, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He was sold.
Is he going a permanent?
Yeah, I think it is a permanent, yeah.
So
Tommy Doyle as well. I mean, with me, Joe, he starts every game for me.
What, in the 10?
In the 10, yeah. All day, every day in the Championship. And
yeah,
Thor, on or something, but for me, Thor ain't cutting it for me so far, mate, in the Championship.
I
played him on the wing as well, and he ain't got the pace, has he? I mean, he was brilliant in League One, but the same again. I don't know if it's because of the quality or if it's a confidence thing or if it's just a bit of fatigue or he just ain't quick enough for the Championship. I don't know, but I mean, he's good at like playing like a lot of good through balls. I mean, there's been like a lot of decent balls he's been playing through to feed, the likes of Kyogo and stuff like that. But from what I've seen at the minute, like he ain't doing it for me, and I don't know why he ain't playing Tommy Doyle. But then again, Chris Davies sees him week in, week out, doesn't he, when we don't? So maybe he's seen something in training or what? I mean, what's your thoughts on Tommy Doyle and Willem Williamson, mate?
Yeah, I don't like to pretend that I have a clue what's going on too much, because I don't. I see Williamson, and I think I think I need to watch him more, honestly. But I've seen him do again, he's had a few moments where I thought he's looked good, and he's that ball we played for his Kyogo should have had an assist for that. Yeah. Kyogo put it wide. I think he's all right in the 10. I probably need to see more of Tommy Doyle in that role. The only reason I think he wouldn't play in there is if he wants some height in that position. Like I don't know. I think, you know, again, Tommy Doyle, is he like, we know he's a really good player. Is he, and he's played in the 10, but is he more of a, I don't even know. Does he want him as an option off, or is it the case of like, you've got to work for that spot?
For your place, yeah. It could be.
Honestly, answers on a postcard for me, because I'm not going to pretend I have an answer. I don't know. I want to hear what people think about this, because I find it. I want to look and get the information for myself, and I don't think I've got the information right now. But I know a lot of people pile on certain players, and I don't want to just pile on Willemsen, for example. When I see him out wide, it's I don't get, and I get it in my ear from my dad all the time. But I just think I'm trusting the process at the minute. Like, it's only been a few games.
Yeah,
it's been 4 games, and I think if we were to get to the point where, you know, Kyogo's not scoring, we'll drop him. Willemsen's not working in the 10, we'll drop him. Whatever. I think it could be the case of like, let's see how this pans out, and let's look at how they perform. And you've got a larger sample size then of data to work with. 10 games in, okay, right, we need to shift this out. Tommy Doyle's really pushing for the 10. Duck might even be pushing for the 10 more so in terms of that physicality and linking up. Yeah. We might see against Stoke a switch there, but he does seem to love Willemsen.
Yeah, he does.
So we'll see. I don't know. I don't like to be too rash. I'm boring and reserved. And
I'm the same.
I just
great conversation.
To be honest.
It's just great conversation, mate. You know, like bouncing off each other, different opinions. It's not like slating them and that. It's just great.
For sure. I just need to see him more, because I think it is an interesting one, like, for sure. And I think that's like, I can't watch a game. Like, I can't go Stoke, watch a game and watch every single player and see how they're playing. And I don't have the time to watch it back and look at specific players and what they're doing. So what I'll see is, okay, these are a couple of players I'm excited by. Willemsen, I'm not too sure about. So I'll try and look at them specifically and see what they're doing. But yeah, I can't just look at data. I'm just really bad at it.
Bright aside, Samuel, mate. What's your thoughts on him now? I think
he's class.
He's good, isn't he?
He's got to be class to keep,
the pace.
Still keep Laird out.
Yeah,
I know he's on the left, right? He's so saucy, isn't he? Ridiculous. Yeah. You know what I like about Bright? Is the way he's rapid, but his tenacity and the way that he will just get the ball and on his own corner flag, you know, in his own box, and he'll just dribble past and make a breakaway by himself. He's able to switch and transition on his own, and then we're off, and we've got 6 other players like pelting down the pitch. But yeah, I think he's a really good player, and at the same time, we've got to shout out Laird as well, because he's so good. I think the only reason he hasn't been signed or sought after by another team is because of his injury worries. And I think we saw a bit in the documentary as well that, like, you know, he's been fighting for fitness. And as a club, we've been trying to get him into a system where he can maintain his fitness. He's had to prioritize that. He's had to work hard. And so far, so good. Like, he's dealing with it, and he looks really fit and in shape. And I think I'm just hoping he has a lot of games this season and he doesn't have injury worries, you know.
But that just says it all, though, doesn't it, though, Joe? I mean, like, cast yourself back to a few seasons ago now, like when he was getting like a lot of injury and stuff, and what they've done now with the training facilities and, you know, all the recovery centres and stuff like that. This is all Tom Brady and Tom Wagner's doing by investing into Blues and that now. And like watching that documentary and stuff now, and that they've got all the nutritional programs and diets and all that, which is obviously helping them benefit and get that winning mentality, that great performance on the pitch, and obviously that all goes hand in hand with Laird's injuries, and I think they've decreased, in my opinion, over the last couple of seasons. I mean, he does get injured, but I don't think it's as like severe, and he's not out for so long, is he?
It's still a problem, but I think he just doesn't want to become one of these players that's just their careers stunted by their own injuries, and it's a big credit to Laird as well. And I really liked the part of the documentary where they looked into that as well, and like his own battles with because he said he wants to be playing in the Premier League, and I think he's got the potential to do that. But I think that is key. So we also have to be sure, and that's why depth's important too, because we don't want to overwork him. Like if you look at Reece James, right? It's very, same position, struggle with injury. Different managers work with it differently, and I think we are prioritizing the player in its situation, and he's working out. He has played a lot at left back, for example, and he's just so good that we have to keep playing him there. But it's also easing the pressure on Cochrane a little bit. It's allowing him to come back. But I think we will manage his minutes this season and just help build him up. You can see the same being done with Reece James at Chelsea. Like they're just. Mate, I think it's so important to make sure he's not overworked, because sometimes it's not up to the player. If he's asked to start and play 90 minutes and then play 90 minutes on Tuesday, like he's gonna get injured. So it's a long term thing, but fingers crossed, because he's unbelievable. I think he's been our best player this season so far after the first 4 games.
Yeah, I agree as well. I mean, in
terms of changing games.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the ones that we've brought in anyway. I think is there any more? Spoke about Newman, haven't we? I think
I like him. He's got pace. He's physical. He looks like an absolute unit next to Clara, and I think they're going to be a really solid pair this season. Again, I'm not going to get too caught up with the fact that he's got caught here or there. I'm glad that they've got cash in again, breathing down their necks, but I don't think I struggle to see them like being split up this season, really, unless it's a case of rotation on maybe a Tuesday night when they're just absolutely knackered. But I think for free as well, the pace he possesses, I don't think we've seen the full potential of Phil Neumann yet with 4 games played. But yeah, I think if there's one thing I'd say to anyone listening, it's just give it a little bit of time. Because and try not to jump on the players too quickly. I'm not saying everyone does this, but there will be some that do and say he's not good enough, he's a fraud, this, that, and the other. Like, and I'm sure we're gonna have to manage our expectations as well. Like, I was humbled by the Leicester result. I was disappointed with that. I was somewhat disappointed by the end of the transfer window as well, because it'd been kind of hyped up so much and I've been so excited by it. But you look at it as a whole and it's been a really good window. The difference is we've just made a lot of our signings right at the start of it. I can't really complain with that. We've had a good start to the season overall. I think a lot of that's down to a lot of our new players having the time to bed in. So we've got a few more now. Let's give them some time. Let's see where we are after 10, 15 games, man. I think we'll be up there.
So we're sitting 10th at the minute, Joe, which is a decent start, really. Come on, let's be honest, like you said. So, like, obviously, like you've got the similar Blues love like me. You go with your dad and stuff, and you got that bond and making memories and stuff. And what's yours and your dad's conversation in terms of where you think Blues will finish this season? What's your expectations? Not realistically, what would you want?
I think top 6.
Can you still see that? Yeah,
definitely. I think so. I think we've had a good start to the season. I'd have took what we've got right now, 100%. And I think we will get better. Goals are important, and I think it's important that Stansfield can stay fit all season. We really missed him against Leicester, and he's so important to this team as well. He's another one of these ones that people looked at last season and said, "Well, he only scores penalty goals." Blah blah blah. But the people that are looking at stats aren't looking at the work he's doing on the pitch, the tenacity that he has, the pressing that he does. Like, it's not something you can really make up into stats. He's so good. So, yeah, I think we don't actually talk that much, me and my dad, about where we're going to finish. We just talk on a game-by-game basis. Yeah. But I think we both have that hope that we're going to get back to the Premier League. My dad probably didn't think he'd see Blues even have a chance Premier League again in his life. He's 68, I think, next month. So he's happy, and I think he just hopes that over the next few seasons we can really push and do it. So I can't speak for him, he would probably be less optimistic than me, I'd imagine. A bit more of a realist. But I think I would say I think the upper part of the playoffs. So I think we'll be third or fourth.
Third or fourth, yeah. I think so.
I'll say fourth. Right, I'll say fourth.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quality in this league, and it's probably the most. I think it is the most competitive the Championship has been for a long time. If you look at the teams that have come up from League One, not even just us and Wrexham, but even Charlton made some really good signings. A lot of the lower half teams have again made really good signings. The only Sheffield Wednesday, right? Other than them, the whole league is so competitive.
Yeah.
And you look at the teams that have made really good starts too, I think they will drop off. I think after 10, 15 games, you will see a more natural order of things.
Lower games, yeah.
Ipswich is just too, I think they're going to be too strong as a whole. But I think we're really going to be up there. I think we just need to make St Andrews a fortress.
Yeah, definitely, mate. That's crucial. Bluenoses is crucial.
Yeah, like make it a fortress. Like get behind the boys. We're gonna sell out most of the games, especially on the weekends, and it's just a case of like, just back them, man. And I think a lot of that comes from the players too. Like you have to make a crunching tackle or whatever, like to just get the fans up.
Yeah,
a lot of teams try and come to St Andrews to nullify that, but you just have to. Yeah. It'd be nice if every home game was just like Newcastle, But that's the reason why those games are so good is because they're kind of one-offs, aren't they? Yeah. But I'm hopeful. Yeah, I think we'll get the playoffs, and I would bite your hand off for that because it's been a long time since going to Blackpool to see Marlon King should have scored, and
yeah,
it's been a long old time.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll be all right, mate. I'm sure that Chris Davies will get it under wraps as well. And like you say, it's still fairly early in the season as well. And yeah, it's just a great league, and like to be back in there, and like any team can beat anybody.
To be talked about.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, it is.
And like I think it's brilliant. I just love it. We're fully in the conversation now. I just think it might take 2-3 seasons, but I think it's inevitable that Blues are going to get back up to the Premier League. I think it is the only way we don't is if they just pull the plug, which I don't think is going to happen. We're doing everything in terms of revenue. Yeah, I think it's a matter of time. But let's just enjoy it. Let's not try and rush it. Let's savor it, because when we're in the Premier League,
take it week by week, and that's it, like you say. But yeah. One final message for the Bluenoses then, Joe, before I let you depart, mate, and leave you to chill out.
Clean the house.
Clean the house.
One final message. I just can't wait for the football to be back, baby. Oh, I've got 8 international breaks.
Go on, son.
Bring on Stoke that I forgot to get a ticket for. Big up the returns list, please. But yeah, over to a message. Put me on the spot here, man. Not a politician. I think I think what I said, just enjoy it.
Enjoy
it's
it.
It's going to be a good season. There's going to be ups and downs, but every game's going to matter. We've got a good set of lads, and at worst, remember where we came from. Okay, we've come a long way, and we've got a long way to go, but just enjoy it.
Yeah, super, mate. That was brilliant. That was. My final message is: it's always been a long, long road, but we're on our way. Trust the process, keep right on, and fuck them all.
Fuck them all, baby.
Yeah, fuck them all, baby. But Joe, honestly, thanks so much, mate, for coming on. It's finally good to speak to you virtually, even though we had the chance to speak in person. And like you said, there was people putting cones on their head that are.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to return the favour one time. You have to come up to me, and I'll stay here.
But yeah, hopefully we can see each other at a game and that, mate, and have some beers and stuff. But yeah, I look forward to doing another podcast with you as well, mate. And yeah, keep right on, mate.
Nice one.
Cheers,
right
Joe.
Who's that? Me? Oh, that you? Sorry. Hello, boy. Wherever we go.
Tony and Dad.
7-0 now, I'm here. Best fucking habits.